Interested in supporting Blue Valley activities and athletics? All In BV offers businesses unique opportunities to get involved. From video boards and static signage at athletic events to elementary car pickup tag sponsorships seen by families every day. Your partnership directly supports Blue Valley students, athletes, and performers while giving your business valuable community visibility. Learn more at bluevalleyk12.org/allinbv.
I love Blue Valley because I feel a lot of support. It's a great community.
We are a people that believe in excellence, that believe in constantly striding for more.
I think that there's a lot of opportunities that I would have never explored on my own, and all of the teachers and staff here at Blue Valley make everything so much easier and more accessible.
Welcome to Blue Valley Unmuted. I'm Dr. Gillian Chapman, Superintendent of Blue Valley Schools. Thanks for joining us today as we highlight Blue Valley's career and technical education programs. This is the perfect time to talk about this topic as February is Career Technical Education Month. I'm looking forward to an insightful conversation that will allow listeners to understand CTE as it looks in Blue Valley and how the CTE industry looks right now and in the future. Joining me in today's conversation is Kennedy Zellers, a senior at Blue Valley High School, Ethan Kushnir, a Blue Valley North alumna and Director of Operations and owner at Speaks Technology Paymore, and Adam Wessel, Blue Valley's Director of Career Ready Programs. Thank you all so much for being here today. Adam, I'm going to start with you. For families who may still picture vocational education from years ago, those who don't have high schoolers yet, or those whose children didn't participate in CTE classes, can you explain what career and technical education, or CTE, is and what it looks like in Blue Valley?
Yeah, you bet. I think the one thing that people may not recognize about career and technical education is just the wide range of content and subject areas that we cover. So many of us maybe, we're in high school, we took our traditional wood shop class or our traditional home economics class. And really what CTE is and what it is in Blue Valley, it entails all courses for students who might take business classes, our health science classes, engineering, biotech, vet science, all the programming we offer at CAPS as well as in our comprehensive high schools. So it allows us to offer a wide range of opportunities for students to learn, additionally to explore, career, post-secondary paths of study, and to meet the wide-ranging needs and interests of our students.
So I know our CTE programs have experienced significant growth over the past several years, and the industry in general, and also the perceptions of people in the past. Adam, can you talk about how the program in Blue Valley has evolved, and what are some of the reasons for this growth in Blue Valley?
I think one of the main reasons for growth is that our students can really see the relevance of career and technical education. They're able to learn about, a potential profession or learn more about a potential more specific path of study that they might have after they graduate from Blue Valley High School. I would also say that we have done a much better job of aligning what we're teaching our students to what is happening out in business and industry. Obviously, we have to scale it and provide it in a context of our high schools and our middle schools, but the amount of work that we do to engage with businesses and industry, both in bringing some of those folks into our schools to work with our students. We have advisory boards that we engage with all of the areas that we offer here in Blue Valley. And we really try to, as much as we can, give students an idea of what a specific business or industry or a specific pathway might look like for them when they graduate from high school, so that they can really start to identify what are the areas I'm interested in. Also a big win, what are the areas I'm not interested in? And we can potentially save students a lot of time and money after they graduate from high school because we've given them an opportunity to really have a firm understanding of what it is that I would like to do when I graduate from Blue Valley.
That's fantastic. And I think one of the things that really sets Blue Valley's programming apart from other school districts is giving our students that leg up, if you will. Kennedy, I'd like to switch to you and learn more about your experience in career and technical education in Blue Valley. Take us back to when you first signed up for a CTE class during your freshman year. What made you take that step? And was it a path that you were confident pursuing, or were you just trying to determine your interest?
Yeah, going back to leading into my freshman year, I didn't really know where I was headed. I was involved in lots of activities and sports, and that was really my main focus. And I wasn't really sure what my career would look like for the future. And so I really just took these introductory classes to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. And my first step was taking business essentials with Mrs. Peary's, and that was really just how I took my first steps into business and really got a look into what it really looks like and what experiences are available to me. And then I also took 21st century journalism with Mrs. Huss, and that was just really the Adobe softwares and really marketing and journalism and all those things. And so these introductory classes just really got me looking ahead and looking into what I wanted to do for the future.
Fantastic. Thank you. You've been involved in Blue Valley High School's store as part of your marketing management class for 3 years now. What skills have you developed through this class?
Yeah, I've developed so many skills that I am just super grateful for that I wouldn't have gotten anywhere else, honestly. So basically, leadership has been, just throughout my experience, I've learned so many soft skills as well. So starting back my freshman year, Mrs. Peary's introduced me to what Tigers Inc. was. So I applied and interviewed and got a spot my sophomore year. And I started as a feeder schools line member where I really just serviced the 5 feeder schools at the time. We ran our online store, we ran in-person events, and I also just worked on fulfillment as well. And so that just really helped me introduce myself and introduce what school store was for me into that first year. And so after that, I became the feeder schools manager my junior year, where I really just kind of had to step up and take lead. I wasn't expected to do that, but I really wanted to do that, and it was something that I really enjoyed. And so under my management, I was able to take on 2 more feeder schools. So now we service all 7 feeder schools, which was something that wasn't attainable under previous management. So I was super excited about that, and just be able to service all the middle schools and elementary schools and kind of give back in that aspect. And then this year I was able to be the executive manager of Tigers Inc. And so I've really just grown immensely, honestly, and be able to problem solve, think critically, and just gain those soft skills that you wouldn't really be able to attain in other classes. So just like a math or English class, this really has just pushed me and given me confidence in what I want to do for the future.
Thank you. You mentioned so many CTE related projects or experiences that you've been involved in. Is there anything that maybe stands out to you, either through your work now or those beginning stages like your freshman, sophomore years, or maybe a different class that you connected all of that to?
Yeah. So from my experiences in school store, Mrs. Peary's also encouraged me to join our BV business clubs. So this is kind of like a side tangent to these classes. And I've really enjoyed participating in this. And last year in BPA, which is Business Professionals of America, 2 of my classmates and we wrote a business plan for a startup enterprise. So we basically wrote what we do at Tigers Inc. And we kind of implemented that, and then we presented it nationally and got 9th in the nation. So that was an incredible achievement for me, and it really just opened my eyes into what was possible. So that was an experience that I really enjoyed.
I can see why. That is fantastic. I mean, 9th in the country is amazing. So one more question that well, I have several more for you, but Kennedy, how has CTE changed your thoughts on what you want to do after high school, or opened your eyes to the various careers you could potentially pursue?
Yeah, to be completely honest, I had no clue what I was going to do starting my freshman year. I mean, looking back, 5th grade, I wanted to be a pediatrician. So look at where I am now. So I really just these CTE programs have really just expanded my perspectives, and I've really been able to gain these skills that I wouldn't have been able to obtain in other classes. And so taking these classes and being a part of these experiences have really just shaped me and led me into what I want to do in the future. So I am currently going to KU next year and get a major in business administration and possibly marketing as well. So these classes have really just been so formative and really taught me the skills, the essential basic topics of what I need to know going into college.
Well, you definitely have a great start. When I was young, I wanted to be a cheerleader. So I really appreciate the fact that you had some different goals, and they're long-term goals. As you look ahead to your future beyond Blue Valley, how do you think, if there's anything else to add, because you've added so much already, but how do you think the career tech ed program that we have here in Blue Valley has set you up for success or prepared you to take that journey, especially when you essentially wanted to be a pediatrician early on, and how you have pivoted? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think the teachers at Blue Valley, especially the CTE program teachers, have been just instrumental to my success. They have pushed me into the confidence I have now. I mean, looking back my freshman year, I couldn't stand up and present in a classroom of 20 people, and now I can stand up and present to judges, professionals, and all those things. And really, it's just helped me gain the skills, the soft skills that you wouldn't get in another environment. And I've just been really grateful for the experience. I mean, you look around and not many people have these opportunities. And so I'm just really grateful for all the experiences, especially School Store, that have just been the real world business experience that I've utilized on scholarships, on my resume, and all those things have gotten me into programs and gotten me scholarships that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Ethan, let's turn to you. You have a unique perspective as you own a local business that has partnered with Blue Valley on some client-connected projects, and you're a Blue Valley alumna who took several CTE classes. Tell us about your experience in the CTE program during your time in Blue Valley schools.
Yeah, so I think I pretty much took like every possible business class that I think was offered during my time at North. And it really started my freshman year. I signed up for an elective for a business class that I don't think I was even supposed to be in, and I ended up in it, and it really changed the way that I viewed the classes that I was trying to get myself in. I was fortunate enough to grow up with a father who ran a successful business, so I always kind of thought that I wanted to go into business in some way or another, but as a freshman in high school, that's just not what I was thinking of. So once I took that class, I kind of went down a spiral of every single business class that I could take there over the next 3.5 years. And then I found the CAPS program, which I think really changed the way that I viewed what I wanted to do. And I was in CAPS my senior year, and I took their entrepreneurship program there. And it was probably the most impactful class that I think I've ever taken. And I got to create a prototype. I got to go through the design process of idea, product, went through the financial aspects, marketing, everything, and then got to pitch it to a Shark Tank style investor thing at the end. And to me, that showed me I 100% want to be in business one way or another. I'd love to be an entrepreneur, but who knows if that's where it'll take me. But that's my end goal at some point in life, is to become an entrepreneur.
So in life, as you've probably already figured out, timing is everything. And you said you started your freshman year in a class that you really didn't mean to be in, by accident, if you will. And of course, your dad had sort of planted a seed about being in business. Ethan, can you tell me more about what skills that you gained from your CTE classes, and what you might have not earned if you weren't in that program?
Yeah, I think the two most important skills that I was able to learn actually probably came from that entrepreneurship class, and it was attention to detail and problem solving. And you can kind of throw critical thinking in there as well, but I really didn't have a lot of that. Not that I wasn't good at it. I just didn't really have the opportunities to use it in my math and English classes. And even some of the regular business classes were just had textbooks, stuff or assignments online on paper, whatever it was. But to be able to really have the freedom in that entrepreneurship class to come up with my own idea, figure out how to source the items needed to build a prototype, and then go through the whole process myself with direction from my teacher. But it was really on us to come up with the financials. Would it work? How would it work? What does it look like? How does it operate? That showed me that I really needed to do a lot of extra research, a lot of extra thinking on how can I build this? How can I build it effectively? Would it even work? Who is this for? You don't really learn that stuff with your head in a textbook. So being able to have that kind of real world level experience was super impactful to me, and honestly taught me skills that I use every single day now. And without those, I don't think I would be very good at my job right now.
So it sounds like you had a lot of trial and error, a lot of failing forward, which you really don't, you don't get those opportunities in a traditional social studies class or math class, because the fear of failure or risking failure does come with some consequences. So it sounds like in our career and tech ed programs, you were able to fail forward, try something, scrap it, start over. Kennedy, anything to add from your experience about the skills that you learned in your CTE classes that maybe you wouldn't have learned were it not for being enrolled in those classes?
Yeah, I think specifically in school store, just that trial and error, as you're mentioning, is something that I encounter every single day. So working with our vendors to get our apparel, there's so many things that happen, but I mean, price points and all those things that change day to day. I mean, we are seeing obviously increases in prices, so we've had to alter what we are selling it for and all those things that you wouldn't really understand until you encountered it in a real setting. And so just working with those vendors has really impacted the way I see things and the way I perceive problem solving and critical thinking. I think also working with our PTOs, we have PTO meetings yearly with the feeder schools that we work with and also all of our vendors. And there's certain things that we don't see from the outside. And so getting that insight really helps to just understand what goes on in those elementary and middle schools. And that's something that we've had to work with as well. I mean, there's changes that happen every single day. And so really understanding and communicating and understanding how to communicate with these principals and PTOs has really been something that's super impactful as well.
Yep. So those soft skills and being able to manage change on the fly and understanding it's a dynamic process and you're dealing with human beings. So managing all that at once. I think an important component to this conversation is that today's employers are looking for a different set of skills than they were, say, 10 to 15 years ago, and potentially even a year ago. Ethan, from your perspective, what are employers looking for in today's workforce?
Now, I don't know what employers a long time ago, obviously, were looking for, but I imagine there might be some overlap, but things are moving really fast now, especially with technology, where one day there's this, next day there's something completely different. So that kind of goes back to being able to problem solve and critical think. If you really can't do that, it's going to be really hard to survive, not just from a retail setting, but a corporate setting as well. It's going to be really hard to adjust to change. I know a lot of these massive companies are constantly going through change. And if you don't know how to adjust to that, problem solve, really think for yourself and figure out the best plan of action for yourself, and you're just kind of going with the flow, you're never going to make it. Mm-hmm. I think there is also a component of sales to almost every job, whether it's selling something, an idea, or even yourself. If you really can't do that, it's going to be really hard to get a job. I think there's lots of people out there that can get any job they want, regardless of their background, because they can talk themselves into a job. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah. That's, if anything, the most for you specifically would be the most positive thing if you could sell yourself into or talk yourself into any job. But I'd say that those three are probably the most impactful things that at least I look for, and I can imagine others look for as well.
A lot of confidence and soft skills, as Kennedy mentioned as well. Ethan, from a business perspective, what can Blue Valley do to continue to place itself at the front edge of CTE?
I think continuing to offer these real world experiences even outside of the school building caps, I had the opportunity to go work with Blue Valley Southwest and Blue Valley North on a 45-day marketing schedule for my business. And we sell technology, so we're trying to find out ways to use social media or just low cost advertising ways around the city that we can gain more exposure into the correct demographics. So we were able to give these students actual demographic information, an actual budget that we need to work around. And they were able to take that, and they created us all these different 45-day schedules with different events, when we should post things, what we should post, different things we could do around the city, like flyers, all within the actual budget that we have set for our company. And I think stuff like that really helps students feel, one, a part of their community, even at such a young age, but also feel like they're making an impact on an actual business. Like, there's stuff that there were ideas that they got that we've used. And to us, that was extremely impactful. But to a student, I could see they're looking on our Instagram and they're like, wait, that was my idea. Like, that's awesome. And stuff like that, I think, helps people figure out, one, what they're interested in, but also what it really takes to run a business, whether it's through marketing, advertising, financials, whatever it may be. They get some sort of insight into what the real world actually looks like and how it operates.
Well, thank you for involving our students and paying forward, paying it backward, however way you look at it. Adam, how has Blue Valley established itself as a good partner to our local businesses and prepared our students for future jobs?
Yeah, I think, the work that we're doing, similar to what we've engaged with Ethan and Pay More, reaching out to our business community about different ways that they can get involved. There's a mutually beneficial experience there. Obviously, Ethan spoke, to both of those, but it is so engaging for our students. They get something out of it, and we hope that our business and industry partners that they come in and work with our students do as well. And we find that they often do, both just, we can take this and apply it, but also just an opportunity to, as you stated, perhaps give back to the community as well. I think also, the work that we do to try and understand what's going on out there in business and industry as much as we can, and engaging with our partners through our advisory boards, gaining their perspectives. A good example, next month, all of our CT teachers will spend half a day in March on our PD day. We align them to go out and visit with various companies and industry across the KC Metro to immerse themselves essentially for a half day in that workplace, learn from the folks out there so that they can bring that information back. We have our IT and programming and software folks going to spend the day at NetSmart. Our construction and design teachers are going out with McCown Gordon to tour Wolf Springs Middle School. And so not only does that bring relevance to what they're teaching, it also allows them to learn from industry and bring that back and then apply it to their classrooms. So, just anything that we can do. And then I would say ultimately, we are trying to prepare our students to go out and be successful in our community after they graduate. Not only the work we do to develop productive young adults, but we also want to develop productive young professionals. And, we know that the work that we do is impactful for our labor force, our local workforce. And, we are trying to do as much as we can to prepare, students like Kennedy, who, if I say so myself, I feel like we've done a very good job, and much of that credit is obviously hers. But the experiences that we've been able to offer for students like Kennedy and others allows them to, after high school, really go out and experience that success.
Adam, you're just a terrific ambassador for Blue Valley School District, and you have so much passion, and it's obvious. So what excites you the most about the future of our programs and how we will continue to prepare our students for their futures, not ours?
Yeah, I think, we are having some exciting conversations about what CTE looks like in the future in Blue Valley. Our students right now, all current 8th graders through juniors, are engaging in a survey around what they are looking for and potentially what they see as future options in career and tech ed. So we certainly want to know what our students want to learn. What areas are they interested in? Where are some of those areas that we might be needing to provide more programming for students and their changing interests, as well as what are the areas where we can enhance what we're already doing. So that excites me because I do feel like that student voice is so critical, and we need to kind of follow where they're leading us and offer what they're wanting. Additionally, we've done some nice investments with some of our facilities. We will finish up this summer a round of updating all of our culinary spaces in all of our high schools. So that's exciting as well. But the thing that ultimately excites me the most is when, you get an opportunity to interact with students like Kennedy and her, colleagues at the student store. And full disclosure, her Tigers Inc. creates all of our fire science uniforms, and they do a fantastic job. And so just to be able to go out and see that student experience, see the level of engagement, see how they are drawn to the relevance of what we're doing, and ultimately, see former students like Ethan go on and be able to apply perhaps some of those things that they've learned in Blue Valley, take advantage of some of the programming that they've had in Blue Valley, and go out and be successful after high school and after college, and come back and offer those opportunities to future students.
Great. Thank you, Ethan and Kennedy and Adam, for the insightful conversation. It's been great to hear how our CTE programs have evolved over the years, and I'm excited to see how they continue to grow in the future. One of the things that stands out most to me about these programs and the classes is that they're all about helping students discover their strengths, build confidence, and gain skills that will serve them well into the future. I'm proud to be part of a district that values engaging and authentic learning, strong business partnerships, and creating opportunities beyond the traditional classroom. Have a great day, Blue Valley.
Want to see what learning looks like in action? Follow Blue Valley Schools on Facebook, Instagram, X, and LinkedIn. From student success stories to behind-the-scenes moments, you'll get an inside look at how we are cultivating lifelong learners prepared to navigate their future with purpose. Get connected, stay informed, be inspired.